We have Mustafa Al Jazari from Prince William County Jail. This is not another boring podcast. Today is January 18, 2025, and we have Mustafa from Prince William County Adult Detention Center, our county jail. And Mustafa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, I want you to say hello to everybody. We're going to be talking about what we're finding out and who is Billy and what is Kylie Clapp relations with Billy. Mustafa, say hello to everybody.
Good morning, America, or good afternoon. I just want to say hello. And I'm sitting here in a small cell, solitary confinement, but I'm content as I pray every day that the diddlers get identified and justice is served. I sit here as an innocent man locked up on false allegations.
Now, Mustafa, 2 years. It's been 2 years. You've been in a county jail, and 2 years into this tragic vehicle accident, the prosecutor refused to release your evidence. All your evidence is under seal, according to the prosecutor, according to the police department. Now, unfortunately for them, we have a police officer in Prince William County that does not agree with everything that they're doing to you and put all your sealed material on a flash drive and gave it to me. Now, unfortunately for them, not only do I have your sealed material, I have other individuals in the county that they're doing the same thing too, and I have their files. Now, let's talk about your files, and what is going on with you. Mustafa Al Jazari gets in a tragic vehicle accident. Unfortunately for the prosecutor, we have the dash camera, and the dash camera shows a vehicle accident. Now, we have an expert witness that weighed in on the whole entire thing, watched the dash camera, reviewed the discovery, and is weighing in on the whole entire thing and says this is a vehicle accident. Now, the prosecutor tells the community that this is premeditated, that Mustafa intentionally crashed the vehicle, despite and going against the expert witness, despite and going against what the dash camera shows. Now, the prosecutor, for a prosecutor who's terrified, who screams that Mustafa is guilty, why is she terrified to release the evidence? Why is she terrified to put the evidence on the record? For a prosecutor that screams Mustafa is guilty, she's terrified of the dash camera, for that dash camera to be released to the community. Unfortunately for her, that dash camera is released and the community is watching that this is a vehicle accident and Mustafa is being framed. Now, Mustafa, I'm going to connect you with a very interesting individual. Now, this individual is a big influencer on social media. This is a individual that went viral for fighting corruption. This individual is on the news. This individual chose to be a private investigator and to go in and interview the star witness, Glenn Ford himself. Now, who is Glenn Ford? I'll tell you who Glenn Ford is. I've done my homework on this guy. I have all his body cams. I have all his documents, and I'm putting this individual under a microscope. I'm doing the job of the Prince William County Police Department. The Prince William County Police Department is not doing their job. Someone has to do their job. Now, I have all the body cams, I have the discovery, and I find out that this individual is being used to lie about Mustafa. You don't have to take my word for it. Body cams, documents, audio recordings from a private investigator showed that this individual lied about Mustafa, and in return, the prosecutor is removing his criminal charges. The prosecutor made a deal with Glenn Ford. Now, what is the deal? Glenn Ford seems to have gun charges, drug charges, intent to distribute, and drunk in public. Now, mysteriously, all of it Poof. This appeared. Mustafa, you have 1 minute. Do me a favor, go ahead and hang up. When you call back, I'm going to connect you with this private investigator and we're going to have a conversation.
Okay.
Welcome to the T-Mobile payment.
When we come back in our podcast, we're going to have a conversation between Mustafa, the private investigator, and we're going to have a conversation who Billy is and what is KILEY CLAPP, Dorothy's 14-year-old child,
an inmate at the Prince William
role
Manassas Jail.
in this whole entire thing. What is KILEY and how connected is KILEY CLAPP to Billy, and who is Billy?
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to.
Now we have Mustafa Al-Jazari from Prince William County Jail. Mustafa, hello.
Hello.
Evidence.com, how can I help you? Hey,
So,
Mustafa.
I just,
Now-
yeah, I got 30 minutes.
So 30 minute. Now, this is gonna be a short podcast. I wanted to do an introduction to what we're gonna have on our second podcast. We're introducing an individual who we have information and that plays a big role in your case. Now, this individual, I have his picture up on the screen. His name is Billy, and I'm going to play an intro into what we have about Billy. And the question is, who is Billy? Now, this is a 1 minute clip. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to have you introduce Billy, and you tell me in your own word, who is this individual? Because the community is dying to find out who this is and what his role in this whole entire thing. And how is KILEY CLAPP? Well, we have information that KILEY CLAPP plays a big role into who Billy, the background of Billy, and why is she lying about you? That's a good question. I have information. Body cam, Google Nest inside the apartment, forensic interview, documents that show that 14-year-old KILEY lied about you to the police. Now, I have a recording from Glenn Ford himself where she went up to Glenn Ford and had asked Glenn Ford to kill you. And she said, can we kill Mustafa and make it look like an accident? Now, here we are. You have a vehicle accident and the police are saying there is mechanical failure. Who tampered with your brakes? Who tampered with your transmission? That today we have a vehicle accident where the police themselves say there's mechanical failure. We have a 14-year-old child that is Dorothy's kid and says, went up to the jealous ex-boyfriend and had asked to murder you and make it look like an accident. We have her on a recorded line saying that her dad works for this individual, and she knows all his employee. Now, what is KILEY's role in this whole entire thing? Let's watch this video, and we're going to ask you a bunch of questions. Mustafa, stand by for this video. Who is this guy? Who is Billy? And what is the background of Billy? And what does he have to do with Mustafa? Now, I remember Billy. Mustafa has a small business, a physical therapy equipment business, where he goes in front of any place that's busy. Restaurants, bars, anywhere where there's people that go in, walk, and Mustafa would advertise his business and sell his medical equipment. Now, what is his medical equipment? Mustafa's medical equipment is heat warmers and small physical therapy devices. Now, this individual, his name is Billy, and he owns The biggest strip club in Crystal City. That place is busy. There are so many people there. Me and Mustafa, we would go there and we would advertise Mustafa's business. I would advertise my roadside assistant business. I've got a roadside assistant business where I go, pass out my cards. Mustafa would sell his small heat warmers, each for $5, and people loved him. Now, this individual does not own the property, does not own the parking lot. He owns the property, but there's a public easement. You can stand there if you get permission from the next door neighbor or the 7-Eleven next door. It's a public easement shared by 3 different businesses on that public easement. One day, this guy decides to take charge and kick Mustafa out of the public easement. Now, we have a whole entire video where that video went viral, and a fat, racist white guy harassing a Middle Eastern man that's trying to make a living. And all he's trying to do, Mustafa wanted to sell his heat warmers and make a living. And you have a fat, racist white guy that comes out, pretend that this is his parking lot, and kick this Middle Eastern man who's trying to make a living. Now, that video went viral. And Billy did not get business for 4 months. 4 entire months. People were boycotting his strip club. People were boycotting his business. They're angry that you have a fat, white, racist man breathing and getting angry and kicking out a Mustafa. Now, we have this video. Now, Mustafa, I'm going to play this video. And let's play this video so that everybody knows what we're talking about. Now, mind you, this is going on during Mustafa's lawsuit against the police. Mustafa has an active lawsuit against the police where his rights were violated. He had a lawyer. There is an active lawsuit, a giant lawsuit, $500,000 lawsuit. And this racist, fat, white guy is interacting with him and trying to kick him off the property, trying to shut down his business. We have a video and we're going to play it. Prince William County Police get called into the situation. And what do? They side with this guy, even though Mustafa has every right to be there. Now, we de-escalate and we say, we're going to go somewhere else. We're going to go across the street. And even though we have every right to be there, we go across the street into a different parking lot and continue to do our business. But that was our spot. We've been going there for years. People knew Mustafa. People were buying his heat warmers. But we knew that the police were taking his side. And this guy owns a strip club. This guy owns. He's one of the richest people in that county. I mean, think about it. He owns a strip club. What do you think all these police officers go on when they get off and on their day off? They go to this guy. This guy has a lot of power. But the video goes viral, and people were boycotting what he's doing to Mustafa. Now, let's play that video. And we're going to find out who is this guy and how does 14-year-old KILEY, what is her role in this whole entire situation? Now, I have an audio recording where she says that my dad does piercing for this guy to all the strippers. He pierces all the strippers. Interesting. So, this guy hates Mustafa, and your dad does piercings for all the strippers for this guy. And just happened that Mustafa meets your mom, gets in a relationship with her, beautiful relationship, but you say, you know this guy, your dad works for this guy, and she says on a recorded line, we'll play that recorded line, she says that all the strippers hate Mustafa. That's not true. The strippers love Mustafa because Mustafa is a hardworking person. They see that Mustafa works really hard in the heat, in the freezing cold. He's out there promoting his business. As a matter of fact, they used to promote his business for him. But then this guy, their boss, gets angry, gets upset, and all of a sudden, for them to keep their job, they have to pretend that they hate Mustafa. Well, a year later, Mustafa gets in a relationship with Dorothy, and her 14-year-old child knows Billy, knows all the strippers. KILEY is going up to Glenn Ford, the jealous ex-boyfriend, asking him on a recorded line. I have a recorded line where KILEY is asking the jealous ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford, to murder Mustafa. And can we make it look like an accident? Now, does Billy have anything to do with this? Why is this 14-year-old angry at Mustafa? Now, we know that this girl has problems with her mom. CPS separated them. We know that Dorothy did not want to have anything to do with her 14-year-old child. She's on drugs. She wants to tell her mom what to do. She told her, go live with your dad. And she chooses Mustafa, the person that she loves, over that 14-year-old child. Now, that's interesting. That 14-year-old child is angry that her mom chose Mustafa over her. That 14-year-old child, her dad works for the individual that hates Mustafa. KILEY knows the strippers and is talking about all of them hate Mustafa. What does KILEY have to do? And what is her relationship in all this? Well, today we have Mustafa getting in a vehicle accident, and the police department admit that there is brake failure. Someone tampered with Mustafa's vehicle. KILEY is angry. And why is KILEY angry? Why is 14-year-old child hates Mustafa so much that when the vehicle accident happened, she goes to the police and lie about Mustafa? She said, Mustafa is an abusive person. Mustafa hates the kids. We have the Google Nest inside the apartment that show Mustafa loves the kids. Mustafa loves his family. I have videos inside the apartment. But KILEY says otherwise. KILEY, I have evidence that KILEY is lying. I have the forensic interview. Well, now, in light of all the details that are coming out, we know why KILEY is angry. KILEY is angry because her mom chose Mustafa over her. And there is individuals in the background that hate Mustafa that she's hanging out with. The strippers at the club. Her dad works for Billy. Well, on that note, let's watch who Billy is. This is a video that at the time when Billy came out and wanted to kick Mustafa off a parking lot that doesn't belong to him. It's a public easement. Let's play that video. Mustafa, we're going to play that video. I'm going to have you weigh in on the whole thing.
Okay, sounds good.
God damn it, I'm telling you, you're gonna fucking go. Are you gonna assault me? You're gonna fucking keep it up, and God damn it, I'm telling you, you're gonna fucking go. Are you gonna assault me? You're gonna fucking get off my property. How many times do I have to tell him, officer? Get the fuck off my property. Get the fuck off it.
I got this whole thing off.
You're good. Get the fuck off my property. You get the fuck off
You're
it.
gonna go to jail, bro.
Yeah, you watch who goes to fucking jail. How many times have you heard how many times I've told him? And you'll fucking see where we're standing. Get the fuck off my property, motherfucker.
Bitch, stop spinning.
Fuck you. Get off. Fucking keep it
Now,
up.
this is
God damn it.
interesting. This is very interesting. I'm the one that recorded that video. I hung out with my brother a lot. He's promoting his business and selling his heat warmers. I'm promoting my business cards. I have a very close bond with my brother. We're always together. We always hang out together. So when this fat fuck came out of nowhere and attacked my brother, I took out my cell phone to de-escalate the situation and record this interaction. So that way, this guy is de-escalated. And I'm telling him, I'm recording so that way it gets de-escalated. Now, if you don't believe in miracles, this is a miracle that we have this video. One, the prosecutor likes to tell this community that Mustafa is this crazy man, this angry man that can't control his anger, and that's why he crashed the vehicle. That's the prosecutor. That's the narrative. Now, that's interesting. We have a Mustafa where a fat, racist person is attacking Mustafa, and what do you see Mustafa do? Mustafa is calm, collected, and is de-escalating the situation. That's interesting. That's not what the prosecutor is describing what a Mustafa is. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. We have the dash camera inside the vehicle. And this is a vehicle accident. Oh, wait a minute. We have a an expert, an expert witness that reviewed the dash camera, reviewed the discovery, and everything in the discovery and said this is a vehicle accident. And you want to tell me that God doesn't exist, that miracles don't happen? We're going to continue to talk about the details, and we're going to find out who is Billy and what is KILEY, 14-year-old KILEY CLAPP, a relation to the whole thing, and why is she lying to the police? Now, on that note, we have Mustafa, and we're going to have Mustafa explain to us what the fuck are we watching. Mustafa, hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Mustafa, I love you, man.
Oh,
You have you're live on YouTube, and according to the prosecutor, you have 500,000 people that are supporting you and are watching what this prosecutor is doing.
hey, I love you too. I love everyone that's supporting me during this difficult time that I'm in. But, God is great, and I do believe that there are angels and there are miracles that are happening. I'm here, I'm breathing, and my head's underwater, but I'm breathing just fine. So no one can break me. I'm sitting here patiently waiting until I get exonerated, acquitted of all of these false charges. So you have a couple of folks that are plotting against me, plotting to kill me. My vehicle malfunctioned. I got into a severe, tragic car accident where I lost my loved ones, and I would never hurt anyone in my life. What you're seeing there in that video, this is an owner of the Gentleman's Club in Crystal City, a very busy area where I'm promoting my products, my physical therapy products, my hand warmers. People love my products. They're reusable products where you can use them over and over. They warm you up. People just love the technology. And I'm promoting my business as an entrepreneur, and I'm making a living, an honest living. So I'm sitting there on a public area right next to the business. There are 3 businesses. The Asian restaurant allowed me to stand there and sell my products. And the 7-Eleven had no issues with me whatsoever. But it turns out this guy seems to have some sort of hate in his heart for me. So, he came out yelling in my face, screaming while he's yelling all this spit in my face. And I'm sitting there like in total shock. How could someone just assault me like that? And you can tell.
God damn it, I'm telling.
Yeah, Mustafa, you're good.
You hear that? You hear the anger in his voice and how he comes out. He's trying to impede and stop me from making money, or from feeding my family, paying my bills, or just surviving.
Now, Mustafa, 14-year-old KILEY, on a recorded line says that her dad does all the piercing for the strippers, his employees, and she says all the strippers hate you.
Wow.
Now, that explains a lot about 14-year-old KILEY and how she's lying to the police and seems to really hate you. That gives us a lot of insight. We didn't know that KILEY knew Billy.
What a connection. When you connect all the dots, you see the bigger picture. And what's crazy here is that the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, is claiming that she has 60 witnesses. I don't know any 60 witnesses, but I wonder what kind of plot they have going on where they're all corroborating. They're collaborating together, and they're trying to make up this false narrative about me.
No, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about a vehicle accident. She has 60 witnesses. What, 60 witnesses? Were they in the trunk of that vehicle?
They tarnish my character. They slander my name. They defame me. I'm sitting here silent.
So wait a minute. They're going to bring in strippers from a strip club that are trying to satisfy their owner. That owner losing business. For 4 months, that business owner were boycotted because he was racist on video. He was being racist to Mustafa. So he's going to bring in 60 strippers, or put them on the stand, and say, what, you sold them a heat warmer that doesn't work?
Well, what are the odds that in the video he says, watch who goes to jail? And look where I'm sitting at. I'm sitting in jail. And I lost my dear loved ones in a tragic car accident. They want to frame me and say that it's murder.
Well, I'll tell you, the police department admit that there is mechanical failure in your vehicle. And I have KILEY CLAPP on a recorded line going to jealous ex-boyfriend Glenn Ford telling him, can we kill Mustafa and make it look like an accident? That's interesting. And KILEY CLAPP says her dad works for this guy and he does a piercing for all his employee, all the strippers. That's interesting. And the police department does not investigate any of it, and they want to use KILEY as a credible witness?
That is very odd.
Or Glenn Ford as a credible witness?
I don't know KILEY. I don't know Glenn Ford. I don't know who this Amy Hodgson person.
Glenn Ford says he doesn't know. Glenn Ford says you don't know him. KILEY says she was never there. That's interesting. But they want to say that they know everything. So your witnesses that know everything, but they were not there. But the police department want to use these individuals as witnesses. That's interesting.
Exactly. You have people that don't even know me that are having an opinion, a formed opinion about me. And I have concrete evidence. I have a camera in my apartment. You can see how the kids love me. You can see how Empress would put a Band-Aid on me, or how the interaction is very comforting. You have the kids that go up to me as a role model, as a person in a leadership position where I'm protecting them. And I'm teaching them etiquette of cleaning. I'm teaching them etiquette of entrepreneurship. I'm teaching them like basic things of family structure. And I'm not the real father. The father is out there doing God knows what. He has abandoned his kids. The kids and Dorothy were living in a really bad environment in a Motel 6.
Well, according to Glenn Ford on a recorded line, Glenn Ford says Dorothy was living out of her van with 5 kids because he kicked her out. He couldn't take it anymore.
Horrible, horrible.
According to the ex-husband, he says that Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, used to beat up the kids, used to beat up Dorothy, abused them, and he kicked them out. And he threatened to murder Divine Jones, the ex-husband. I've got that recorded line by the police.
He has these tendencies, but for KILEY CLAPP to go up to Glenn Ford and be so comfortable to plot this, plot to kill me, that shows some sort of relationship among the two characters here.
Well, I'll tell you, I have Glenn Ford on a recorded line telling a private investigator that he slept with 14-year-old KILEY CLAPP. Now, that's interesting. That's very disturbing because when you think about a 14-year-old child going up to a 40-year-old man, asking him to murder somebody, how comfortable are you with this man? Well, now we have evidence that KILEY CLAPP was sleeping with Glenn Ford. According to a recorded line, according to Glenn Ford himself, he says that KILEY CLAPP would show up high on not weed, on harder drugs. She doesn't know where she's at. And then he would wake up and she would be in bed with him, sleeping with him. I've got that recorded line where he's saying that. Now, that's disturbing.
That's very disturbing. That's very disturbing, but highly inappropriate.
And then KILEY argues with her mom, telling her that we're fucking the same men. And Glenn Ford gets very upset that KILEY is arguing with her mom about him.
That is nasty. Seriously. For someone not to have boundaries and to do all this inappropriate type of behaviors in front of other kids, what kind of environment did you have in your apartment? I had a camera in the master bedroom to ensure safety and quality, everything when we leave the house, everybody's good, and communication in case we're shopping, they need something. I have that, in transparency. And you have this person, Glenn Ford, doing inappropriate things with a minor. That is very, very, very disturbing. I can't even fathom that. I can't even fit that in my head. That's nasty.
No, Mustafa, my job is to bring out the details, bring out evidence, to show this community what is happening in the background and who is saying what about you. Now, I have a dash camera that shows this whole entire thing is a vehicle accident. I have the police department, a police mechanic, the mechanic inside the police department inspect the vehicle and say on a body cam that's sealed by the government, but I have that body cam, say that this vehicle has mechanical failure. The brake doesn't work, The back caliper doesn't work. The passenger caliper doesn't work. The front passenger caliper doesn't work. The transmission disconnected from the engine. And then the computer inside the vehicle say that you hit the brake and the RPM was shooting really high. There's something wrong with this transmission. There's brake failure. You hit the brake, but the vehicle did not stop. Now I have another body cam where that's sealed by the government, where investigator himself, the one that took the stand and lied about you, on the stand he said, on the body cam, I have his body cam that says, all these are your skid mark and you cleared the vehicle. You cleared the SUV and the SUV turned into you. Now, why is the police report falsified? Why is this investigator taking the stand and lying? Now I have his body cam and I can prove that he lied. He lied to the judge, he lied to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor is using this investigator to lie to the judge and the community. Now I have their body cams, and unfortunately for them, the community is watching. Now my question is this. The prosecutor is using a 14-year-old child, Dorothy's child, to be the star witness into saying that you're a monster, that you hated the kids, that you hated Dorothy. Now that's interesting. I have evidence that KILEY CLAPP hates you before the vehicle accident. That KILEY CLAPP has a relationship with this individual, Billy, the owner of the strip club at Crystal City. I have information, I have evidence, audio recording, where she says she knows him. She knows this. She knows his employees. She knows the strippers. She has a relationship with this individual. I have a recording of her saying that. Now that's interesting. I have a recording where Glenn Ford says she came up to him and asked him to murder you. And can we make it look like an accident? She went up to the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford. Glenn Ford is saying this. I have that recorded line. Now, we have information where she says it herself, that I'm angry because mom chose Mustafa over me. Now, you have a 14-year-old child that is upset at her mom, upset at her new boyfriend, because the mother chose her new boyfriend over this 14. And who is this 14-year-old child? This 14-year-old child is an individual that does drugs, that gets drunk, that gets in trouble, that seems to know it all and wants to tell her mom what to do. And her mom doesn't want anything to do with this 14-year-old child and tells her, go live with your dad. Yes, I'm choosing Mustafa over you. And now we have a 14-year-old child that's angry. Now, this 14-year-old child, a month before the vehicle accident, sneaks into the vehicle, finds Empress by herself, and records a video. Have you ever, when you have a 5-year-old child, she has a cell phone in her hand, and she's not recording the 5-year-old, she's pointing the camera sideways. You can't see KILEY's face. The camera is pointed in the other direction. You can't see Empress, and is attempting to get an answer that she wants out of 5-year-old Empress. Is Mustafa abusing you? Is Mustafa abusing you? And Empress says no. And then you don't know what she has in her hand that she's trying to give her. Is trying to. Have you ever had a 5-year-old that you're trying to solicit an answer out of, even though the child doesn't know what you're talking about, even though that 5-year-old doesn't, and then you're trying to solicit an answer? It's a very weird video. She records that video a month before the vehicle accident and goes up to the police and says, look, Mustafa is abusing 5-year-old Empress. That's interesting. That's very interesting when you find that KILEY has a relationship with Billy, the owner of that club, the strippers that hate Mustafa because of that owner, and is upset about her mom choosing Mustafa. Now she wants to say that Mustafa is abusing the kids, is abusing Empress. Well, unfortunately for KILEY, we have the Google Nets inside the apartment that show that Mustafa loves Empress, 5-year-old Empress, loves the kids, loves his girlfriend, and KILEY is not going to get away with lying. If the police department is not going to do their fucking job, we're going to do it for them. And this community is watching, and we have Mustafa from jail, where we're going to talk about this. NBC4 is not going to cover it. We're going to cover it. The police department is not going to do their job. We're going to do their job for them. And unfortunately for the police department, the FBI and the DOJ are investigating. They have the body cam. They have the discovery. They're putting KILEY CLAPP under a microscope. They're putting Glenn Ford, the jealous ex-boyfriend, under the microphone, under the microscope. They're putting Amy Hodgkins on the microscope. Mustafa, you have 1 minute. I want you to, on that note, we're going to end the podcast, and the floor is yours, brother.
All right, man. I just want to say I appreciate and God bless everyone that supported me during my difficult times. And I'm going to come out very soon. Anyone that lies under the penalty of perjury in court, you're going to jail for framing me, for lying on my name. Justice for Dorothy, justice for Empress, justice for Tatiana David, justice for all.
Mustafa, I love you. I love you. I love you. On that note, I'll talk to you later. And take care of yourself. We're taking care of the outside. I love you, man. All these motherfuckers are going to jail. I promise you that.
Thank you. All right,
Habib,
bye-bye.
I love you, man.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
And on that note, we're going to end this podcast. And this is not another boring podcast. And we're going to talk and continue to talk every single day until we get to the bottom of what's going on here. And if the police department is not doing their job, we're going to do their job for them.